Hey, Coach. It's Wednesday again. Time for another update. Things here have been um, more boring, I guess, which is exactly what I wanted, especially after having 6 kids in my care last week. I'm really excited to only have 3, and I don't think I've ever told my children how much I loved them or that I loved them this much because of the experience last week has made me definitely appreciate my children a lot more. So the other thing I think, what was it? The other thing, so of course I can't go one week without a little bit of drama. And yesterday or day before yesterday, I found out that there were fraudulent charges on one of my bank accounts. So it's always something new and fun, but that one was kind of more like a Christmas type situation because my bank immediately charged it back, and then I can use that money that I didn't realize I was missing to pay bills. And so I'm like, okay, got to see the best in this one. But weather here is decent, and I hope it's great down there. I know you sent out more information about the retreat, so I'm going to go back and try to look at that. Our May and June might be changing a little bit, and I'm not quite sure how that's going to go, but we'll see what happens. We're trying to take a bit of a honeymoon in May, but considering we need to get into a new house, it might not happen right now. So I will have to get back to you on that part. So just to get into this week, I believe I finished week 10 and I'm going into 11, something like that. Waist is about the same, maybe a little over 29, but I have my cycle this week. So things are a little puffier and crazier and fun stuff like that. No new supplements, or I'm trying to still push some more fluids, and I'm going to need to do that as much as possible. I need to make a goal every day for my water intake and just like make sure I hit that goal, because I feel like I have the tools to do it. I'm just not being as aware of it. My current macros: protein's 125, carbs are 175, I believe, fat is 53. I haven't really been counting the refeed. I apologize. I did have my refeed on Saturday, or indulgence meal on Saturday, and so of course my weight peaked on Sunday and Monday, and now it's coming right back down to where it normally is, regardless of the fact that I'm on my cycle. It's actually been pretty decent this week, and I'm sure you'll see that in the numbers that I send you. One thing that I did notice, though, that is really kind of, I don't know if it's bothering me, or I'm just trying to collect as much information about my body as I possibly can while I'm going through the different phases of my training, because I like to notice the benefits of training, the benefits of having lean body mass, the benefits of like all the different things that come along with becoming the best version of myself physically and mentally. But I did happen to notice that over the last few months, when I'm holding on to more weight and more body fat, my cycle actually has more extreme symptoms, which obviously I don't need to go into because you can probably guess what those are. But it seems to me just another good argument for staying in shape and staying lean and not carrying around a bunch of extra fat or whatever that you don't need to be carrying around. So that's something that I really feel like was an important learning thing for me this week. I always feel better in my skin when I'm more lean, and my cycle is not excluded in that. So I just thought that was an interesting observation. It's just the week literally takes me down right now with carrying this much fat around, whereas when I was leaner, I would fly right through it because the symptoms weren't as bad. So really weird to me, but definitely something to think about. Stress levels aren't too bad this week. Like I said, the fraudulent charges really didn't upset me that much because it was kind of like Christmas. So I was glad to be able to see the bright side of that. Sleep is decent. I slept a lot this weekend. I tend to do that a lot. I slept a lot this weekend because I knew I was going to need it to go into the coming week strong. The last couple of nights I've been sleeping okay, but then last night I kind of had not such a great night of sleep. Andrew and the snoring and anxiety about trying to get back to sleep and all that kind of stuff. And then we've been having some really loud people driving by our house lately and stuff like that. But I don't expect to see that becoming a trend again, because I'm really not, I don't feel that stressed. So I feel like I did pretty well with the nutrition plan. We're really working towards implementing some meal prepping and meal planning that will include macro-friendly meals and nutrient-dense meals for the upcoming dieting phase. I told Andrew that I really wanted him to be a part of that too. I think I feel a lot better about sending him to work with, 2 decent meals that have like, protein, complex carbs, and veggies, and then like a protein bar, knowing that it's probably gonna be a lot better for him health-wise. And then maybe it'll also help him get into the idea that this is going to be our lives for the next, 6 to 8 months, is that we're going to be eating like this. And if I'm eating like this, he's going to be eating like this, and we just need to get used to it and be prepared. So last week I made a dish that I saw on Instagram called egg roll in a bowl, and it was super flavorful, really low in carbs, high in protein, and low in fat. So that's going to be one of those options, like if I only have a bunch of protein left at the end of the day for dinner, or if I need to save my fat and carbs for the end of the day for another meal, that's going to be a good one that I'm going to be able to put in there. And then we'll probably do some like sriracha turkey burgers and stuff like that, and just try to be prepared, because we like to have a lot of variety, and we don't want to just eat chicken breast and, rice and broccoli. That's just not, we like to have options. And luckily with like sriracha burgers and stuff, or meatballs, turkey meatballs, stuff like that, those are easily frozen. I can just stick them in the freezer, make a batch for like 2 weeks, stick them in the freezer, and be totally ready to go. So that part of it really did work for me when I was on the bro diet, and I'm really looking forward to getting back to something like that. Last night we were a part of a fundraiser where if you mentioned the fundraiser at Chipotle, then part of the proceeds from your order would go to, I don't remember if it's like hemophilia or something like that. Anyway, it was for a little boy, and it was so hard to eat that burrito. Like, I went on Chipotle's website and everything, and I made sure that all the macros lined up with what I had left for the day. Never again. Never again. We just can't eat like that. Our bodies are not accustomed to it. So there's just no way that we would be doing anything like that. And then earlier in the week, I had a leftover cupcake from Saturday's birthday party. Never again. Because as soon as I ate that cupcake, I felt like garbage. Even if it fit my macros, I just felt like absolute garbage. And I'm like, nope, no thank you. I like to feel normal, thanks. So yeah, those are kind of some of what we're dealing with the nutrition plan right now. Hunger levels are good. I'm not hungry. I mean, I'd like to be hungry so that maybe my metabolism is picking up this food a little bit better, but I'm just not hungry. Training went really well. I feel good. I still love using machines. I still get annoyed with the people at the gym when I'm trying to do a superset and they jump on one of my machines and I kind of want to stab them, but I'm sure I'll get through my anger. I'm trying to make sure that I'm spending a little bit more time being prepared for when that happens, and so that I don't have to rush off to get my son when I'm in the middle of a set, because usually I show up right before I have to pick him up from school. And I stay at the gym for an hour, hour and a half, and then I go pick him up. And if I don't finish, sometimes I'll put him in the childcare and go back and finish my cardio or something. But I prefer not to do that because I like to run errands at that time instead. So training was decent. Still working on some form and some things that I'm just not uncomfortable doing in front of other people at the gym. I'm feeling pretty fluffy. I'm pretty bloated. Like I said, my cycle has had a lot of symptoms over the last couple of months, and it's actually to the point where, like, I really don't even feel like I recognize this body anymore, because even though I know my body fat is up and everything, like, it doesn't run the same way as it did before. It's like, hey, look at all these calories I get to consume. Oh, wait, I feel like garbage. I'll take the lean body any day, thanks. A lean body with a cheat meal here and there is like my idea of heaven. So, Not a ton of soreness, maybe just a little bit, which makes sense. Probably in my hamstrings. I can't really. Triceps too, again, working a lot on the triceps. I believe I completed everything in the training. I feel good mentally, but I think just this week with my cycle, like it literally brings me down. And like yesterday, the whole day, I was just like a cloudy, exhausted mess. And then I got into bed and I'm laying here in bed and I'm like, I'm wide awake. Why am I awake? I was ready to go to sleep at 9 o'clock. Why am I awake at midnight? So that's just kind of annoying me. Let me see. I don't see anything else that I kind of wanted to address. Let me make sure, look at my notes so that I can check. I really am ready for the dieting phase. I know that I'm being whiny. I know that I'm being impatient and whiny. But I just want you to know how ready I am for it. The only other thing I'd like to put out there, just because I know that you've said in the past that you don't want me to do something that I really, really hate doing. Two things that I really, really hate doing, and I know that we might not be able to avoid both of these things, but I really hate burpees. Like, absolutely despise them. I cannot burp. I've never been able to burp my whole life. I can't force myself to burp. Instead, I feel like I'm going to throw up. So when I go down for a burpee and I come back up and I'm like, there's air going through my body and like I feel like I'm going to throw up, and if I happen to eat a larger meal than usual before I went to the gym that day, it's just a hot mess and I hate it. So, however, I'm totally open to all kinds of plyos. I do the box jumps. I do all kinds of different stuff with, with the last plan. I was doing mountain climbers, which are kind of similar to burpees, but, and all kinds of stuff like high knees, everything. Like I was doing all kinds of stuff. Really hate burpees. And I also really hate running, which I don't know if I can avoid. I love sprints, but I really hate running. And I'm good about being on the elliptical or, whatever cardio device and keeping my heart rate up so that, if that's what we're going for. Anyway, I just wanted to kind of put that out into the universe because, we all have our preferences. I like to just lift weights all day long. Less cardio is cool sometimes, but whatever, I've got Instagram to keep me happy if I get bored in the middle of cardio, so I'm not too stressed out about it. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing great down there. I know you guys have a lot going on and lots of plans coming up and all kinds of craziness and, always moving forward to the next amazing thing on your list. So good luck with everything that's going on right now. And I know I'll talk to you soon, send you over some numbers, and have a great rest of the week. All right, bye.